want now to invite Mrs. Hughes to come, and could we have an indication whether any other member of the media would like to ask any questions so that we could manage this process? We would also want, since Dr. Neil is here, to give him 2 minutes at some point. In my opening remarks, I commended the formation of the St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association. Dr. Neil has been at the forefront of coordinating the involvement of our students in robotics. And in fact, they have gone to Mexico, I think they have gone to the UAE, and they have done well. St. Kitts' rank, I am advised, about number 31 in the world in terms of robotics. That is an outstanding achievement which must be improved in the next couple of years with our increased interest in that area. And we certainly was first place in the OECS according to the information that was presented at last night's launch. So we are happy that Dr. Neil is here and can give us 2 minutes about what is happening at this point in time in terms of the preparation of our students and what we can look forward to as a country. You would recall that in the formation of the cabinet, we put special emphasis in ICT. We always have done. And the Attorney General had led that effort in the first term. We had determined, given the increase in litigation and the volume of work in terms of our parliamentary calendar, that that particular aspect of the ministry really should go elsewhere for further attention and build out. And the AG could focus more on the legal aspects of the government. And we are hoping to have great things. What was interesting in the presentations from last night was that the persons are seeing this area rightly as the new growth area for St. Kitts and Nevis, both in terms of its ability to enable the provision of services, etc. And through active use, we are able, hopefully, to have some foreign exchange earnings. It falls well into the mandate at the ECCB level, really to move from a cash society to a cashless society. It moves well into our efforts to build out the blockchain technology. These specific areas have to be given increased and improved focus so that we will begin very early to have benefits that we can demonstrate have come from our participation this way. So, Mrs. Hughes.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Good morning, everyone. Dr. Laws and the Prime Minister would have covered just about everything pertaining to immigration and the visitor or the nationals' returning experience when they come through the IRLB or any other port of entry going forward. I have the exciting thing that I would want to speak about, though, is the online ED card that is being introduced by Impacts, CARICOM Impacts, and the OECS Commission that should be coming on stream, hopefully at the opening of the borders. If not, St. Kitts and Nevis was the ICT government, e-government ICT consultant, Miss Blanchett, and my supervisor, Mr. Sheldon Jeffers, have been working tirelessly to modify the version that we were sent, the Barbados version of the online ED card, where passengers before, I think it would be 72 hours before they come to any of the destinations that will be involved in the project, will fill out that form. That information, it would have been modified to include immigration, customs, and health. That information will get to us in advance so that all the various queries can be addressed. And so that is something that we're looking forward to. Immigration benefited tremendously from the training with the tourism and health And we're looking forward to the official opening of all the ports in St. Kitts and Nevis. We will also now be seeing the opening of the Christophe Harbour within the next few weeks. And that office should be outfitted shortly. The PS, Mr. Petty is here. He would have given it his blessing, and we're in consultation still to have that up and running. As we know, tourism is focusing now on the mega yachts and finding a home. And in order to address that, they have the capacity and the capabilities of handling such. And so we're looking forward to, as the immigration evolve and as technology evolve and as we go through this COVID-19, which the Prime Minister and Dr. Laws has said will be with us for quite a while, we have to make ourselves ready. And the Immigration Department is rising to the occasion. All right, Customs has similar challenges as we do. They are part of this online ED card, and so it is a new phenomenon, and we will see how it works. All right, so thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Hughes, and thanks to your team. We have Jason Davis with a follow-up question. Some areas of bar stays, and persons express a concern whether there was some weather pattern and NEMA had been slow to respond. So we have Mr. Abdias, who is here, and I will give him a chance to indicate what has been happening in terms of the weather. We are nearing, but it's not yet gone, the end of the hurricane season. So far we have been blessed. We are grateful for those mercies, and we would want him to give a sense, though, of what has been happening over the last couple of days since there has been some issues raised. Mr. Davis.
Good morning once again. Good day. Just one question. Has there been any final decision to be made to the payment for government auxiliary workers, specifically those who are on contract?
I am not too sure. There has never been a problem of payment to government workers. I'm not too sure what the question.
Well, from what I understand, there was supposed to be an announcement by the end of September about a payment for those who were on contract.
No, it wasn't a payment. It was about the transfer of them as they were in no man's land to become more regularly or incorporated as part of the public service and be given, as it were, similar rights and privilege in terms of pensionable entitlements. We did indicate at a prior press conference that that is an ongoing work. We have established a committee headed by the Accountant General, Mr. Levi Batcher, and it includes, among other persons, a representative from the legal department and the chief personnel officer, and they are working diligently to put in place to ensure that we can do that in a proper way, consistent with the regulations. They have presented to the Cabinet at least on 2 occasions, and it is a work in progress. The assurance we give is that the date for which we say it will be applicable, we will stand by that. So while the necessary inputs is being had by the technical people who have to facilitate this transfer, there will be no loss of benefit. So the measures or the policy will be implemented as from, I think we had said the 1st of July. Yes. So there is no loss, and everything will be done appropriately. It's just that the technical aspect of implementing the policy is taking a little bit more time. It's a little bit more complex. For example, we have to, and not that this in itself is complex, we will have to set up a new body equivalent to the PSC to deal with the GAE, Government Auxiliary Workers. The Chief Personnel Officer should have prepared the Cabinet submission, and hopefully next week we can deal with that particular matter. We are doing an evaluation of some of the workers, not especially those who have been on the STEP program, who too will join that nucleus nucleus of workers to be considered part of the GAE membership. We are doing evaluation with respect to them. So these things are what are being required if we are to move the program successfully and to ensure that we are not migrating or moving persons who are not doing any work into the new system. So if persons are not working, then when we move to the new system, we are not going to have workers who are not contributing. So the evaluations, etc., are being done and advised of the professional team. So I would advise we just give it a little bit more time, knowing that no one would be disadvantaged when we actually migrate the system there. Could Dr. Neil come forward? And then he will be followed by Mr. Abdias. And then we will try and wrap up unless there any further call for the floor.
Good day, everyone. I want to express thanks to the Prime Minister for having me here. I also want to inform the public that we have now formed our official St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association. This is very important to us because it means that we're on the verge of transformation within St. Kitts and Nevis. And what we're focusing on is to ensure that the young people operate within STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Last night was the groundwork that was done. Moving from there, we'll be moving into looking into forming other associations across the OECS. We have gotten word from Governor Antoine that he's fully on board to ensure that we have this kind of happening. So even though we're in a pandemic, we're still making moves to ensure that the young people are taken care of. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And again, we commend you on your work. We have Mr. Abdias. Mr. Abdias.
Good morning, and thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Sorry, good afternoon. Wow. Okay, I just want to remind the general public that we are still in the hurricane season. Actually, we are still in the peak of the hurricane season, and the hurricane season will not end until the 30th of November. Hence the reason we are going to see a number of tropical waves that are going to be coming off the coast of Africa. So these tropical waves, as they come off the coast of Africa, they will travel west, and they will come into the chain of islands, Caribbean islands. If the conditions are not conducive for them to form into cyclonic storms, then they will pass us as tropical waves. So for the past few days, St. Kitts and Nevis, along with the entire Caribbean islands, chain of islands, have been affected by a series of tropical waves. And these tropical waves will generate cloudy conditions with moderate to heavy showers at times, and they will be accompanied by the thunderstorms that we experienced the other morning. As such, again, we are appealing to the general public to remain alert and also to listen to the information provided by our local Met Office in collaboration with the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology and our parent agencies such as CDEMA, the Caribbean Emergency Management Agency. It's important also for the general public to remain updated. NEMA has been providing information, on-time, real-time information, as is provided to us by the Met offices. And I want to basically take this opportunity to thank Mr. Elmer Burke and his team for the work that they are doing in providing this information on a timely basis. So we also would have experienced this morning some strong wind. That information was actually forecasted. That activity was forecasted since yesterday. And I want to appeal to our citizens and residents, because this morning and yesterday morning I would have received 1,001,001 phone calls about whether we're going to have work or whether school is going to close. And up to a while ago, I received a nice humorous WhatsApp where somebody would have said, put up on the status, Abdias keep telling us about COVID, how come he didn't tell us about this morning? So I would like to notify you that you can actually go to the NEMA Facebook page. You can also go to the NEMA website, which is www.nema.kn, and you will get real-time, on-time information regarding the weather status, and also other social media platforms. We also have partnerships with the private sector who also shares these weather updates, and you can also go to SCASPA, SCASPA's website, where you will also receive this information. Again, when these events do occur, I am appealing to road users, as we would have experienced an accident, I think, day before yesterday, and also we would have seen some rock falls and landslides taking place in some areas. And we also know that we have some waterways, because the topography of St. Kitts and Nevis basically will have waterways. And these waterways, when we have these showers, they are going to have the potential for flash flooding. Hence, persons should exercise caution in parking in the gut areas such as College Street Gut, those are famous guts that run, and also Westbourne Guts and other guts around the island. I think one of the critical things in the infrastructural development is that in Kean, entering into Kean, I remember once ago we get some showers, and you will find that it will interrupt the entire traffic around the island. No, this infrastructural development and enhancement has actually made our infrastructure more stronger for the transportation of any goods and services that may be required at this time. I want to encourage persons to use this peacetime. As the Prime Minister would have said, we have been blessed, and I really hope that we stay blessed and we come to the end of the hurricane season without any further impact. We have been affected by the passage of some cyclonic activities, but not to the extent that we have to basically shut down the country, or we have had to have any major disbursement of our resources. Let me encourage everyone to continue to look at the emergency plans and family plans and get to know the NEMA mechanism. Get to know who are the volunteers within your areas. Get to know who are the agencies that you need to be in touch with, such as the police, defense force. Get to know the Red Cross, AM representatives for the areas. These are things that we need to do now in peacetime to prepare ourselves during this hurricane season. Again, 3 thunderstorms, a little bit of high wind, and some rain does not qualify us to shut down the country at any time. How the process will go is that if any threat to the country, then there will be consultation between NEMA and the local Met Office, who will then advise the Mitigation Council ministers along with the Prime Ministers of any potential threat to the country due to the adverse weather events. Once this is deemed a high threat to the lives and livelihoods of our citizens and residents, then the necessary action will be taken by the cabinet members, in particular the chairman of cabinet, the Honorable Prime Minister, for action. With that said, I do hope that we can continue to have a peaceful hurricane season. So let's continue to pray. Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, and we want to commend you especially for your hard work. You're one of the role models, I would think, in the public service, who's always been diligent, hard-working, and you've never asked for any overtime. At least I haven't seen. Mr. Petty hasn't told me, with respect to all the additional tasks and responsibilities. So I commend you as a true patriot, and we all have commended you. I got a WhatsApp, I'm not sure what it meant. It's from someone in Keon who said, why Sean don't say something about the water over here? I'm not sure whether it's Keon or somewhere. So, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Water, do we have an issue with water anywhere? And why don't you say something about it, please?
Good afternoon to everyone. The Water Department is currently experiencing some issues with providing water in some areas of the island of St. Kitts. As a matter of fact, in order for me to be here this morning, I had to use some bottles of water to take a shower because I've been corrected to take a bath. We do, as I said, have some issues in the Sandy Point area in particular. Those issues have been ongoing. This morning outage would have been caused by one of the pumps not working properly. The department is working to rectify that particular situation. I'm not aware that there is currently a shortage or an outage in the Kayan community. What I do know, and we have put out a notice indicating to the public that we currently have an issue within the Molineux community. We are expecting the water there to be restored by 2:30 p.m. This afternoon. Additionally, because of the road work which is taking place, that is the resurfacing of the island main road, we have had to be laying new pipes in several different areas. For example, currently we are undertaking work on the Wellington Road area. Coming out of that, there is currently an outage affecting certain persons in the vicinity of where the work is being undertaken. The water there is expected to be restored around 1:30 p.m. or 2 p.m. This afternoon. What I must advise the public is that the department, let me say the ministry actually, is making a much better effort in terms of informing the public of these outages. There is now a communications officer within the ministry in the person of Sharina Warner, and she has been quite attentive in terms of getting the information and putting the information out to the public. Persons can go on the Facebook page for the ministry, that is the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, and receive information at all points in time when we do have these occurrences taking place. Let me also add that there are some instances whereby leaks developed within certain communities. That is the case, for example, with Molineux today. Those, of course, those are not planned, and so as soon as the information is transmitted to the office, that information is sent out to the public. Again, we apologize to all of the areas which are affected. I should add too that work is ongoing between Godwin Gut, I think, up to the Old Road community. That work is going to be ongoing for several days, and so as that work continues, you will have periodic outages within the communities affected. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that helpful information. I regret it's Molineux, and hope that very shortly, as you did indicate, that it will be rectified. And we hope that the showers that we are having have certainly added a richer store of water for all communities. And we are going to work hard to deal with these issues of water. Those in Kayan have been for a lifetime. And so we intend to make that a legacy priority of the Team Unity administration. I've just had one request. The PR people would like to have a photo of all the ministers. We have had some who were late because they were on other business, and so they are seated elsewhere. We'll ask you just to stand. Those standing, for the record, are late arrivals, except for Minister Phipps and Minister Powell. We just ask you really to stand behind those of us who are seated for the purpose of the photo. And we'd invite our Deputy Speaker to stand to be part of the photo. I want to thank all, though, for paying attention and participating in this particular press conference. I think it has been very informative. We have dealt with a very critical and important matter, albeit the opening of our borders. We have given a firm date. You would have heard from the presentations made by our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Hazel Laws, from the Director at the Tourism Authority, Ms. Brown, from our Chief Immigration Officer, and all others who would have spoken in this, that we are working very hard to ensure that when that day comes, we are in fact ready. So we would want during that period to have all the necessaries basically put in place. We want to thank the hoteliers and all persons involved for their cooperation. Again, we cannot be complacent, and we have to ensure that we observe strict standards. I want to make the point that some of the countries that have been best with respect to managing the COVID-19 are countries that have observed a quarantine. If we were to leave St. Kitts and Nevis to go to Canada, we'll have to go through a 14-day quarantine, still in place. London now is perhaps shut down and special measures are in place. So we have to be careful. As our health practitioners, they are willing to be flexible, and our policy will be flexible. If you have to come for 3 days, you're welcome. We can't quarantine you for 14 days when you're on a 3-day stay. But there are special programs that will be put in place in terms of protecting the population, but allowing you to come, allowing you to move within the compound of the hotel so you can relax, you can go to the beach, etc. That is why we need to ensure all of the workers are trained in the hotel sector. That is why it is significant that the efforts of the Tourism Authority in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, that those efforts continue. So everyone from the garden and the hotel compound, he has to know how to relate to people. The barman, he has to know how to relate to people. Those at the reception desk obviously are going to be into contact. They have to know how to relate to people who are coming in. Those who are cleaning the rooms, they have to be able to relate. So it's a new order and a new sensitivity for which we have to begin early to prepare our people. Firstly, to take care of themselves. Because if they can't protect themselves, it means that they are going to be unreliable in protecting others. So if they are in the habit of wearing the mask, they can ensure that those who are coming close to them are wearing their masks. The cleaners will have to be sensitive to the fact that in their cleaning, there are certain things that they will have to observe. And those who are more practiced at cleaning and the health complications will have to go through that with them in a repeat way. So we minimize mistake. To err is human, but we want to minimize mistakes for the protection of all. The Chief Medical Officer and her team will be meeting this afternoon with some of the hoteliers, and those meetings will continue. Some of them up to last night had sent to us information regarding the kinds of protocols that they are ready and what they can offer and compound, which is important, and some of the sites they think their guests will really want to participate. So whether it is Brimstone Hill or it is Forest Trail, etc., all those people who are going to provide the service, we have to get them ready so that they can protect themselves. If they can't protect themselves, they will not protect their family, and they will not protect the community. So we have just to rise to the occasion. COVID-19 is with us. It will not adjust to us. We have to adjust to that reality. And the sooner we begin to make practice, adhere to the good practices and protocols, the better St. Kitts and Nevis will be. We have come so far that everyone is looking to us as a model, a safe haven, if you will. If we are not careful and the statistics were to change in an adverse way, we are back from whence we have come. Well, we would be in a worse position than when we began. So again, be on your guard. We are a progressive country. We are going places. A stronger and safer future has been committed, but it needs your work and your support, and we will get there. So thanks again to the representatives of the media who came out. We had some very good questions, I must say, and we want to thank you, and we hope that you will ensure that the responses that you would have had are faithfully presented to the public to add to the quality of information that the citizens and residents would have. Both
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.
Comprehensive disaster management is about every one of us being ready to manage any natural or man-made event like hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, fires, oil spills, or volcanoes. It's about having your home or business prepared with an emergency plan as applied. It's prevention. Keeping your home, business, or community well maintained and safe. It's about being able to get your life back on track after the event. Will you be ready? Visit NEMA.kn or log on to NEMA SKN on Facebook.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware.
We now bring you the WinFM Headline News. The WinFM Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, Carib Brewery, CNC Trading,